Alright, so this is going to be our end of the year kind of gear wrap up. It's not necessarily going to be a gear review, but it's going to be talking about our gear that we used a lot during the year, what we found worked, what we found that didn't work so well, and just kind of talking about the gear that we used. But I think we're going to start off before, even though we focus mostly on trail, we're going to start off our review or just talk about what we use on the road, because we did run a fair amount of miles on the road this year.
Yep.
Ran a road marathon, and I know you ran a few road events.
Yeah, I did a 50K and then a 5K, so the opposite ends of the spectrum. But
yeah, so yeah, we spent some time on the shoe. So on the road, so what was your most go-to shoe, I guess?
So go-to shoe for the road was the Bondi 7 from Hoka.
Coincidentally, also
Yes.
my go-to shoe of the year too.
Yeah, I picked this one because this is what I ran like a road 50K in. It was super comfortable. It got me through like easy days, pretty much anything not going for speed. Yeah, so that's why I picked that. You did the same thing?
Yeah, so I had some issues actually with some earlier models of the Bondi. So the where it had ripped on the side, but I was actually really happy. I feel like, so I have over 200 miles on this on the 7, and it's like, it looks brand new, honestly, except for a little bit of wear on the bottom. But yeah, it's been holding up really well, and it still feels like I'm running on clouds, which is something. I mean, it speaks to, a lot of the other Hoka shoes sometimes start feeling a little bit more dead after around the 200 miles, and
yeah.
I still feel great running in these. Though I spent a lot of time with Clifton's this year too, and they're kind of still a go-to shoe for me. But the Bondi were definitely my go-to road shoe this year.
Yeah, mine too. I got like around 250 miles in mine, and they look, besides a little bit of wear here and there, they pretty much look brand new. Like, I ran in mine today, right before we started doing this, and still incredibly comfortable. So they're going to be around for a little while, I think.
And then for me, I ran a marathon this year, and it didn't go quite as well as I was hoping to, but I was talking about so I dabbled a little bit into some carbon shoes. So I bought the Hoka Rocket X because I'm so familiar with Hoka, and I've enjoyed everything they've put out. I definitely was very impressed with the shoe. It's very fast. It's very light. But I didn't feel like it had the super propulsion to it like I hoped that it would for a carbon plated shoe. So I also picked up a pair. These were like on sale for like $120 and things. So yeah. I picked up a pair of the Endorphin Speed. Endorphin Pros. Even though it looks like, I love this colorway because it looks like a dad shoe, which I really dug. But personally, but this one definitely felt like on my speed runs. I would look at my watch and kind of be very surprised how fast I was going. It kind of made the speed feel really easy. So if anyone's looking for tempo or some speed days to throw into your trail training, both of these I think are good options, honestly. Yeah. This one just feels have a little more pep to it.
Yeah, I didn't bring mine with me, but I also have a pair of the Endorphin Pros, and I ran a 5K in them. That's all the pretty much real road racing I did this year, and they felt amazing.
You got fourth?
Right? Yeah, I came fourth. Nice. But yeah, they were very comfortable. A lot of people said they were very firm compared to the Speeds, because I also have the Speeds as well, and I didn't have a problem with them at all. I thought they were really comfortable, and especially since they're on sale there. It's like mine weren't so fresh because I have like 30 miles in mine, I'd definitely pick up another pair.
And I know the 2s have come out since, and I have not tried the 2s. I tend to go for a little bit of a bargain shopper for shoes. I do buy some, like the Bondis, and those were both brand new. But when I can't pass up $120 for updated uppers, which I heard was the main thing for the new Endorphins. Right. So let's transition to trail.
Yeah. We're gonna have a lot of similarities again.
Yes.
I'll start her off.
All right, sounds good.
I went for the main go-to shoe for me was the Hoka Speedgoat 4. and they are a tank. Like you're not looking, probably not going to be running super fast with them. You're not going to be running too many races, even though I did all my races in these shoes. But I'm not really a speed guy, so it's kind of perfect. But the tread on these, I have like 350 miles in them, and it's the Vibram Mega Grip, and it still looks pretty brand new. Like it is not bad at all. There's some wear and tear here and there, but not really. There's no tears in the upper. I've ran through, I mean, one of the races we did, it was like waist deep water through like roots and rock. It was pretty brutal, but like these things held up completely fine.
Yeah, I find they drain pretty well, even though they don't have any specific things for draining.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people some people, the upper was mixed from what I saw online. But I've run in the last 2 Speed Goats before these. These are the 3s. But I have the 2s somewhere, but I don't know. I couldn't find them. But I know these are. But I put well over 300 miles. I think closer to 500 miles in these. And they started to break down the sides after that. But I mean, 500 miles on a shoe is all you can really ask for. I actually hiked the long trail in this pair before, so I mean, yeah, put a ton of miles in hiking and running, and they were still sticky until the end, even though the tread started wearing down. So, yeah, definitely my go-to shoe too for doing anything, especially anything that wasn't a short, fast trail shoe or trail race rather, for sure. All right, so. A couple other shoes, trail shoes that I figure are worth honorable mentions. I was picked up. If you can tell from the trend, I'm kind of a Hoka guy. Definitely a lot of Hokas in my lineup, or my quiver, or whatever they say for a shoe. But these are the Challengers. I'm just putting these as an honorable mention because I wouldn't race in these per se. They're not a fast shoe, but I do a lot of mixed running on pavement to rail trail to gravel to trail, and these really do a really good job of that. They feel like a road shoe when you're on the road, but they have enough grip on them that unless it's like really muddy or really technical, they did pretty well with that. So quick honorable mention for those. I was very happy, surprised with how those felt.
You did a few hill repeats with those, right?
On Garrison, yeah, I did do. And then honestly, with all that sliding and slipping around, I felt pretty good in them. They really do hold their own in a lot of different terrain. So nice. I like them. And then my go-to especially for mud season or winter season. Mud season, I mean, you can see the mud on it. Mud season, winter, in the snow, or even just sometimes a shorter, quick race, anything up to probably half marathon for me. I might wear the Speedcross. There's a classic from Salomon. Anyway, so those are my kind of between those two and the Speed Goats. Those are kind of the main shoes I ran in this year for running. Nothing revolutionary for the trail side of things. Kind of just classic shoes to go around. But those were kind of the things I went with. But you went with kind of a newer shoe on the Salomon lineup. So
we pretty much have only chosen Hoka and Salomon, besides the Saucony throw-in. So I went with, for my honorable mention, was the Salomon Ultraglide. Again, we like to muddy up our Salomons, I guess. Super dirty. But these were really comfortable. These were not my go-to, only because of the lug depth. It was the pattern was really slick. I mean, all the trails we did, so we did a few runs for training and on the terrain that we were going to be racing on, and the liner came out a couple times, completely slid right out, and I had to stop and readjust my shoes because these were going to be my race shoes because they're light, they're really comfortable, but I don't think they have what it takes. I think they're they're a really good jumping off point for Salomon. I think going into the higher stack height. For trail shoes, which obviously 2022 they're coming out with a lot of things that are going to be fast, good stack height. This was a good jumping off point. So that's why I put this as an honorable mention, or this would be my go-to.
Because you were going to wear those in the Vulcan's Fury half marathon.
Yeah, and then when we did the course, it was we kept having that problem where I had to stop. I actually took the the liners out and ran the rest of the run without them. It was still pretty comfortable, but it was just still kind of one of those things when your feet are wet, you don't want to be sliding around any more than you already would be. So
yeah, something you just definitely don't want to think about with your shoe.
yeah, for sure.
But those are the most shoes. We ran a few other shoes that just didn't really stick out to us throughout the year, but those were kind of the shoes that we kept going to in our quiver. So
Absolutely.
all right, so let's get into gear. All right, so let's kick off gear. Let's talk about some vests and hydration packs. So let's start off with. Go ahead. Start off.
So I did the. I think we both did the same thing. The Salomon Adv Skin 12 set.
Different colors.
That's the only thing. And you have two versions of this, right?
I do. I have the old version and then I have the newer version.
Yeah. So I was running with Nathan vests all year until Matt turned me onto this, and then I'm like, this is so far above and beyond better than those. This comfort, the fit, the amount of storage, it's definitely my go-to for. I mean, I'd run a trail 5K in this. If I need, I don't know why I'd need to do that, but I'd run pretty much any race in this because of how versatile it is. So you can fit.
Yeah, for it's like a half marathon all the way up to a 100-miler.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it carries well. You can it's comfortable to put your gear in all around. It has pockets, has nice large, I think they call it kangaroo pockets right in the back.
Yeah.
It goes all the way across. It has a zip down that expands really far in the back. I mean, I know there's tons of reviews on this online, so I won't get into all the details, but it really does feel like wearing a shirt, and it compresses really well. So I find that even if I'm running a shorter trail run where I don't need as much gear, it compresses well, so it doesn't feel like it's this massive pack on you. And it's super comfortable. It's also pretty bomb-proof because I've had this for 2 years now, over 2 years now, and the biggest wear and tear on it came from my dog chewing a pocket that I put treats in. But other than that, the pack is holding up incredibly well. I've washed the zippers a few times. I think that's the only thing where I had to put a little oil on the zippers because I sweat a lot, so there's sometimes it corrodes a little bit. But other than that, very bomb-proof, and I've had zero complaints or anything about how this pack fits or feels when I run.
The only complaint I had about it was when I ordered it online. I had no idea it had all the features. When I got it, I was like, it had way more pockets than it said online. It's even got a little whistle. You know what? That's fantastic.
And there's like 3 different ways you can attach poles to it too.
Yeah,
which was also another thing that I had to look on to second videos that wasn't Salomon related because they didn't seem to have easy ways to find that out. So Salomon, put out some how-to videos on your website because other than that, this pack has been great. And I like to wear my poles. It has straps right in the front where you can attach your poles right in the front. Yeah. And I know you prefer wearing yours on the back.
Yeah, I wear mine on the back side underneath.
It's a preference thing. And I know packs in general will be preference things. Like some people will swear by different kinds of packs. I haven't run in Nathan, but I have run in Ultimate Direction packs, and I've enjoyed running in those. But this one I feel like does stand out as kind of just being the most comfortable pack of running.
Yeah, and I'm not hating on Nathan because I have 2 Nathan packs. That's all I've known until I've only had this for a few months now. But it was like night and day difference just in the fit and I guess the capabilities of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a large 12-liter, but it doesn't feel like a 12-liter when you're wearing it. No, I think the one drawback sometimes in the summertime, some people do feel like it makes you sweat a little more. Obviously, it's going to be if you can get a much smaller pack, like a 5-liter pack, or even a 3-liter pack in the summertime, it might make it so you don't sweat as much. But if you're going to get one pack that's kind of one size fits all, this is kind of the pack to do.
All right, waterproof jackets.
This isn't necessarily, so for me it's not new to me for this year because I bought this a couple years ago. I don't wear rain jackets all that much because I tend to sweat a ton, so unless I'm going to get cold, I don't tend to wear it because I don't want to get sweat. I'd rather be wet from the rain than from sweat. But I have a Salomon Adv Pro, and it has been a very comfortable jacket. It moves with you really well. The hood moves with you really well if you wear it in the hood. If you don't wear it, you can kind of tuck it up behind you. It breathes relatively well. It's waterproof, so obviously it's going to breathe only as well as a waterproof jacket can. But I do feel like it breathes really well. I can wear this in colder temps, but again, I sweat a ton, so I tend to wait till it's a lot colder. I wore this on the Kilkenny 50 miler 2 years ago, so I guess I got this for that event. So I got this in 2019, and it's held up really, really well since. So that's my go-to.
Mine is the North Face FUTURELIGHT Vective, it's their Flight FUTURELIGHT jacket, but it has so many names with the North Face line of clothing and shoes. But yeah, this is also their FUTURELIGHT material. It's supposed to be their competition with the Gore-Tex, and it's light, it's breathable. It's been my go-to running rain jacket for sure, but it's a couple drawbacks on mine. You didn't really have many on yours, but the sleeve is super annoying for me. I really wish that there was like some pull tie or something, or if it was tighter. But other than that, it's perfect. Yeah. Again, I sweat a lot too, so I am constantly taking it on and off, and back and forth. But hey, it fits really well in the pack, so that's really nice. So if I have to take it off a bunch of times, that's good, and it packs down nice. But that's about it. I mean, we don't really have other jackets. Like, that's your go-to. This is my go-to.
Yeah,
I think it's get a couple solid choices, and that's about it.
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to see what you can get for unless you have an unlimited amount of money, but sometimes it does come down to what you can find cheaper. I did find this on sale. They don't go on sale very often. When they do, you can sometimes get a decent deal on it.
Yeah.
But
I actually looked for that jacket on sale when I was trying to purchase this.
Yeah.
But that was not on sale. Yeah. This one was on sale, and it was like 50% off, so I went with this.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a good buy.
Yeah, and I think they're pretty comparable as far as like breathability and packability.
Yeah.
So
yeah, again, the waterproofing is, it's tough to be super breathable with, but do what we can.
So that's pretty much the gear that we use throughout the year. Obviously, we use other gear. We use trekking poles. We have food preferences that we have. We'll do more videos on those as we go along. So quick note as we go through these all this gear and the shoes. Just to say we're not financially obligated. We're not sponsored. Yeah. We get nothing from any of these companies for saying any of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's
just gear we appreciate and really use. Like, we're not doing it just to say we're doing it or anything like that. We get no financial gain from it. It's just
just stuff we like. Yeah. So taking everything obviously with a grain of salt, because everybody runs different, right? There's no perfect shoe. There's no perfect gear. Everyone's foot is different. So a shoe that I find to be perfect for me is probably going to be different for someone else. And that's kind of why some people swear by zero drop shoes. Some people get injured with zero drop shoes. Some people love the maximal cushion shoes. Some people get injured with maximal cushion shoes. So just the best thing to do is try out shoes and find out what works for you. But these are the shoes, this is the gear that we like.
Absolutely. Yeah.